today seem to be getting as many television productions, not just of Shakespeare, but for any great plays. I mean, is this something we're missing, not just from an education tool point of view, but just from culture, bringing something from one part of our culture into somewhere where it can get a different exposure?
It's miserable. And I feel so grateful that I was getting my first television experience at a time when there was play of the week, the Wednesday play of the month, and films being made all the time for television. It has diminished to almost zero now. Instead, we have a lot of reality television which has taken its place. That can never be a substitute.
Yeah, we can get a reality show about kids putting together a production of Romeo and Juliet, but we don't get a new version of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. The thing that puzzles me about reality shows is how fake they are. I'll share this with you now, and if anyone wants to take up this idea, just remember that you had it first from me. But I've conceived of an idea whereby one would create a reality show which only had actors in it. Actors unknown. You would pick a group of actors who were completely unknown, and you put them in Big Brother house, or you put them on an island or somewhere. And I guarantee you, they will give you better reality than you see in any reality. Because it's what we do. That's why you must never fall in love with us. We tell beautiful lies.
Now, we mentioned there Macbeth, Claudius. The next clip we have is a clip of you playing one of the other great kings from British history. That accent. Were there any other particular actors from around this neck of woods, say, who had come up at the end of a Robin Hood film as King Richard that you were referencing there? And did you meet him this week?
Sir Sean has always had the good taste never to refer to this.
I was very keen that we included a clip like this because there's we have the big science fiction and comic book films, the blockbusters, the big budget films. We have the Shakespeare side of it, but sometimes we forget the funnier side of Patrick Stewart. And I know one of the favourite things that you ever did was that extras on television, and that there's a whole lot of animated voiceovers you've done. Obviously, American Dad, you did seasons and seasons, and do you feel that maybe in the general public, critics, everybody, we kind of forget this side of you?
Well, I think it was overlooked for a long time, and the thing is, I've been typecast all my career. It's just that the types kept changing. You know, there was a period of my career with the Royal Shakespeare Company when I was consistently first choice low comic. Where you wanted a Touchstone, or you wanted a Lawrence, or you wanted a Grumio. I was really bad at it. But then you know, I somehow all of a sudden everything turned around, and if you wanted hysterical, depressive neurotics, that was me. Henry IV, Claudius, Leontes, you know, they went in patches, and I've never sought comedy, though I am doing now, and my next project is a play in New York which has a lot of comedy in it, and I'm looking forward to it so much. But you know, Frasier called my agent and said, we got this role for Patrick in the last season of Frasier, which was to play this English opera director whom Frasier has a love affair with. Except that I suddenly understood why people got weird when they came on the bridge of the Enterprise to walk into that flat, into Frasier's flat with the chair sitting there and all that, you know. It's quite unreal. And then I was doing my shopping in the local supermarket in Bermondsey about 3 years ago, and my phone rang, and I answered it, and a voice said, "Hi, Patrick, this is Ricky Gervais." And I said, "Oh, yeah. There's an actor called John Light, who's a good friend of mine, who does wonderful impersonations." I assumed it was him. And he said, no, it really is Ricky Gervais, and we're doing the show. So why they call for me, I don't know, because there's nothing that would seem to encourage them to do that. But I get a huge kick out of it. And American Dad, which I think I've been doing that for 4 years, 5 years, and indeed recorded 3 episodes last week. It's the most wonderful. Look, Laurence Olivier once said that there is minimal satisfaction out of doing tragedy. The greatest satisfaction that he as an actor ever received was in playing comedy and hearing an audience laugh. And it's true. You know, it often feels so bad to make audiences miserable, to frighten them or depress them or make them anxious. But to hear, as we did with Waiting for Godot for all those weeks, for instance, to hear audiences laughing is the biggest reward in the world.
Yeah, this is just a little personal aside at the moment, but the other misconception or preconception I think people have with you is that there's this great magisterial voice, and obviously there is. But for me, I remember watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and Smiley's People, and the scenes that you have with Alec Guinness, virtually worthless, but it's your presence in those, your silent presence in those is strong. And I don't think, again, you know, the greatness of the voice maybe sometimes distracts from that side of the acting, the silence, and obviously Godot has so many important bits of silence too.
Yeah, the John Le Carre adaptations, actually, my character never spoke. He was entirely silent, and I remember so clearly my agent, now retired, calling me and saying, "You've been offered a role of John Le Carre, they're going to be filming The Smiley's People." Oh, I was such a fan of Le Carre, and he said, "That's the good news. The bad news is you don't have any lines." And I was devastated. And then I read the scene, and then he told me it was Carla, and I knew the role, and I read the scene. And apparently a lot of actors had turned the role down. But I was just a jobbing actor living in West London, being invited to spend a whole day, 12 hours, on a soundstage at Ealing Studios with one of the greatest actors of the 20th century. Just the two of us. And I didn't have to worry about getting my lines right. All I did for a whole day, I watched Alec Guinness go over that speech, long, 3 pages, trying to get me to talk. And I just sat and watched this brilliant actor work, you know, and they paid me, but they needed to have done, because what a privilege. And then I got a chance in Tinker Tailor Spy to be with them again. Very big.
So, for our final clip, I think everybody can probably guess who you might be playing in the final clip, because we've referenced Star Trek a few times. It's kind of been hovering there like how with a Klingon warship on the Space Horizon. and now we have a clip here from Star Trek First Contact. So